At 70, the world expects you to slow down, to sit quietly and fade into the background. But I want to tell you something different today. At 70, it's time to start loving yourself like never before. Because now, you finally understand what love truly means. For most of your life, you've given your energy to others, to family, to work, to responsibilities, to expectations. You've carried the weight of "what will people say" on your shoulders for decades. You've sacrificed your dreams so others could build theirs. You've cared deeply, sometimes too deeply, for people who never look back. But now it's your time. At 70, life is not ending. It's beginning in a new way, softer, wiser, calmer. You don't need to prove anything to anyone anymore. You don't need to run the race that society created. You've already walked through storms that would have broken most people. You've earned the right to rest, to smile, to forgive yourself, and to live peacefully. Loving yourself at 70 doesn't mean being selfish. It means being grateful for every scar, every wrinkle, every memory that shaped you. Each wrinkle on your face is not a sign of age. It's a line of wisdom written by time. Each gray hair is not a mark of weakness. It's a reminder that you've lived, loved, and survived. Maybe in your youth, you chased perfection, a perfect body, a perfect career, a perfect family. But now, you realize perfection was never the goal. The goal was peace. The goal was acceptance. The goal was to become whole, not flawless. You see, when we're young, we love others hoping they'll make us feel complete. But when we grow older, we discover the truth: no one can complete us. Only we can give ourselves the love we've been searching for all along. At 70, love yourself enough to say, "I did my best." Love yourself enough to stop apologizing for being who you are. Love yourself enough to enjoy your morning tea without guilt. To take that slow walk, to laugh at your own mistakes, to forgive the younger version of you who didn't know any better. And if your heart still carries regret, let it go. You are not the same person you were 10, 20, or 50 years ago. You've evolved. You've grown. You've learned. Don't let yesterday steal the peace of your remaining days. The greatest love story of your life can still be written, and this time, the hero is you. Love yourself enough to be kind to your body. It may not move the way it once did, but it's carried you through a lifetime of battles. Love yourself enough to speak gently to your mind. It has endured years of worries, and yet still finds strength to dream. Love yourself enough to care for your soul, to pray, to meditate, to breathe deeply, and to stay thankful. And remember, age is not a number that limits you. It's a badge that honors you. The world needs your wisdom. The younger generation needs your calmness, your stories, your guidance. You are not too old. You are perfectly seasoned. At 70, the mirror should no longer make you doubt yourself. It should make you smile, because every reflection shows a life well lived. You've been broken and rebuilt. You've cried and laughed. You've lost and gained. And yet you're still here, more real, more present, more alive than ever. So love yourself today like you've never dared to before. Not because you're 70, but because you finally see the truth. That you were always enough. You always were. And you always will be. You are not living your last chapter. You are rewriting it, this time with love, gratitude, and grace. Because the most beautiful thing about life is that it's never too late to love yourself. At 70, life is not ending. It's beginning in a new, wiser way. It's time to love yourself not for who you were, but for who you've become. These words hold a power that few truly understand. For most of your life, you have lived for everyone else. You lived for your children, your spouse, your parents, your work, your responsibilities. You woke up every morning thinking about what you had to do for others, not what you needed for your own heart. You built your world around duty and sacrifice, and perhaps you thought that love meant giving everything away. But now, at 70, the time has come to love in a new way, not by giving yourself away, but by giving yourself back to yourself. You see, we spend our youth chasing approval. We want to be seen, to be appreciated, to be valued. We study hard, work harder, build homes, raise families, and sacrifice our own peace so others can have comfort. We measure our worth by how much we can give, how strong we can stay, and how little we can complain. But somewhere along the way, we forget that we, too, need love, not from others, but from within. And now at 70, the chase is over. The pressure is gone. The expectations are fading. You are finally free to be who you are without pretending to be anyone else. When you look back, you realize that every season of your life taught you something. Your youth taught you ambition. Your middle age taught you endurance. And this season, the golden one, is here to teach you acceptance. You no longer have to run after life. You can now walk with it. Slowly, gracefully, consciously. This is the stage of wisdom, where silence speaks louder than words, where patience replaces anger, and where gratitude replaces regret. Loving yourself at 70 doesn't mean you ignore your past. It means you embrace it, all of it. The mistakes, the achievements, the heartbreaks, the moments of laughter and tears. Each one was a teacher. Each one helped you arrive here. You might look in the mirror and see wrinkles, but behind those lines are stories. Stories of courage, survival, forgiveness, and resilience. Every mark on your skin is proof that you lived. You faced storms and still chose to smile. You were betrayed but still learned to trust. You lost but still continue to give. Now it's time to look at yourself not with judgment, but with compassion. When you were younger, you might have looked at your reflection and found faults. Too thin, too heavy, too tired, too old. But at 70, your reflection deserves reverence. It's not just a body you're seeing, it's a timeline of love, pain, growth, and strength. You are not the same person you were at 40 or 50. You are softer now, but stronger too. You are quieter, but deeper. You are not in a hurry anymore, because you understand that everything in life happens exactly when it is meant to. The beauty of reaching 70 is that you stop needing permission to be yourself. You stop asking, am I doing enough? You stop comparing your life to others, because you finally understand that everyone's path is different. You begin to appreciate the simple things, the warmth of sunlight on your face, the taste of morning tea, the sound of laughter, the comfort of silence. These are the moments that were always around you, but only now do you truly see them. You also realize that forgiveness is a form of love, not just for others, but for yourself. You forgive yourself for not knowing better when you were younger. You forgive yourself for the times you stayed silent when you should have spoken. You forgive yourself for holding on to people who were never meant to stay. Forgiveness frees you from the chains of the past. It allows your heart to rest. It allows love to grow again, not as a romantic desire, but as a deep spiritual acceptance of your journey. There's something beautiful about aging when you stop resisting it. The world teaches us to fear getting old, but wisdom teaches us to honor it. Because growing older means you've had the privilege of time. Time to experience, to learn, to love, to evolve. Every sunrise you witness now is a reminder that life is still happening for you, not against you. You are still needed. You are still valuable. You are still capable of giving light to others just by being who you are. Maybe your hands don't move as fast as they once did. Maybe your steps are slower, but your heart is wiser than ever. It knows what truly matters. It knows that success is not about wealth or fame or possessions, but about peace of mind and gratitude. It knows that love is not found in grand gestures, but in small, sincere moments. It knows that happiness was never outside of you. It was always waiting for you to look inward. At 70, start spending time with yourself the way you would with a dear friend. Talk kindly to yourself. Appreciate your presence. Take care of your body, not because you want to look young again, but because you respect the life it has carried. Rest when you need to. Laugh often. Read, pray, or simply sit in silence and breathe. The world doesn't need your speed anymore. It needs your stillness. It needs your wisdom. There might be days when you feel lonely. That's natural. But remember, solitude is not loneliness. It's a sacred space where you meet your own soul. It's in that silence that you begin to hear your inner voice again, the one you silenced long ago under the noise of duty and survival. That voice whispers softly, "You are enough. You always were." Listen to it. Let it heal you. Let it remind you that your worth was never dependent on what you did. It was always about who you are. If you have people around you who love you, cherish them. But even if you don't, know that love still exists within you through you. The way you speak to yourself, the way you treat yourself, the way you choose peace over pain, that is love. You don't need grand moments to feel alive. You just need gratitude. Every breath is a blessing. Every moment you open your eyes is grace. And if your mind ever tells you that it's too late to change, too late to begin, too late to grow, remind it that life doesn't measure time the way the clock does. The soul doesn't age. You can still learn something new, still explore, still laugh like a child, still forgive like a saint, still dream like you did when you were young. The beauty of this season is that no one expects anything from you. So now you can finally do everything freely. You can write, paint, plant flowers, dance slowly to old songs, or simply sit and smile. You can look back without pain and look ahead without fear, because you have lived long enough to know that everything passes. Joy, sorrow, success, failure, but peace stays with those who choose love over bitterness. So, start loving yourself like never before. Love yourself for surviving what you thought would destroy you. Love yourself for the nights you cried quietly, but still woke up to face another day. Love yourself for being human. Imperfect, emotional, real. You don't need to be strong all the time. Sometimes loving yourself means allowing yourself to rest, to cry, to feel, and to let go. At 70, the most beautiful realization is that you no longer need to chase love because you have become love. Your presence, your calmness, your wisdom, they are love in motion. Every time you smile at a stranger, forgive a memory, or speak kindly to yourself, the world becomes a little better because of you. This is your new beginning, not defined by how many years you have left, but by how deeply you choose to live each one. Every sunrise is a reminder that life is not done giving you moments of beauty, so take them, cherish them, breathe them in. At 70, love yourself not for the person you used to be, but for the person you've become, the one who has lived, learned, and found peace in the silence of self-acceptance. You are not a story that's ending. You are a soul that's blossoming in its truest form. And when you sit in quiet reflection, may your heart whisper gently, "This is what love feels like." Because at 70, you finally understand, loving yourself is not about the years behind you, but about the grace within you. And that love that is eternal. The greatest love story of your life begins when you finally realize that you were always enough, even when the world made you feel otherwise. Throughout your life, you've been told what you should be, how you should act, what success looks like, and who you need to become in order to be worthy of love. You've spent years chasing validation, trying to fit into molds that were never meant for you. You've smiled when your heart was breaking, stayed strong when all you wanted was to rest, and tried to prove your worth to people who never really saw your soul. But now, the time has come to stop running. The time has come to look within and see the truth that was always waiting inside you. You were always enough. For too long, we've believed that love is something we must earn. We think we'll be worthy when we achieve more, look better, or become someone different. We keep waiting for that one day when we'll finally feel good enough. But that day never comes. Not until we decide to stop seeking love from the outside world and start nurturing it within ourselves. The love story of your life does not begin when someone chooses you, it begins when you choose yourself. You see, the world often teaches us to love conditionally. You're good if you succeed. You're worthy if you please others. You're valuable if you look young, stay productive, and meet society's expectations. But true love, the kind that heals, strengthens, and transforms, doesn't come from conditions. It comes from acceptance. It comes from understanding that your value was never tied to how much you do, but simply to who you are. You were born worthy, and nothing in the world can change that. When you finally realize that you were always enough, something shifts deep within. The noise of comparison begins to fade. The weight of others' opinions starts to fall away. You stop trying to prove your existence and start living it. You start to breathe easier, laugh more freely, and walk lighter. Because love, real love, gives you permission to just be, to be human, to be imperfect, to be whole even in your brokenness. Think about how many years you spent trying to win approval from family, from society, from people who barely knew your heart. You tried to meet expectations that kept changing, to live up to standards that were never fair. And in doing so, you forgot one thing: you don't need anyone's permission to be at peace with yourself. You don't need anyone's applause to feel valuable. The applause that matters the most is the quiet one that comes from within, the one that says, "I made it, I survived, I grew, I am still here." The greatest love story of your life is not between you and another person. It's between you and your soul. It's about learning to hold your own hand when life feels heavy. It's about forgiving yourself for the times you didn't know how to do better. It's about speaking gently to yourself when your mind gets loud with doubt. It's about realizing that even when everything else changes, your body, your career, your relationships, your inner worth remains untouched. There will always be people who misunderstand you, who don't appreciate your heart, who judge your path. But that doesn't define your value. What defines you is how you choose to see yourself. Do you see someone who's broken, or someone who's beautifully human? Do you see someone who failed, or someone who tried again and again? Do you see someone who's aging, or someone who's blossoming with wisdom? When you start to love yourself through every version, every season, every scar, that's when your true love story begins. The love you've been searching for outside has been waiting quietly within you all along. It's been there when you wiped your own tears. It's been there when you comforted others, even while you were hurting. It's been there every time you stood up after falling. That strength, that resilience, is love in its purest form. And now, at this stage in your life, it's time to recognize it, to celebrate it, to live from it. You are not defined by your mistakes. You are defined by the courage it took to rise after them. You are not the pain that was given to you. You are the wisdom that grew from it. Every challenge, every heartbreak, every loss, they didn't diminish your worth. They revealed it. Because even in your weakest moments, you kept going. Even when you doubted yourself, you still cared. Even when you felt unloved, you continued to love others. That's strength. That's beauty. That's love. So many people reach a point in life where they look back and think, "I should have done more, been more, achieved more." But what if you changed that question? What if instead you said, "I have lived, I have loved, I have learned, and that is enough." Because it is. You don't need to be extraordinary to be worthy. You just need to be authentic. You don't need to be perfect to be loved. You just need to be real. The greatest act of love you can give yourself now is to stop comparing your journey to anyone else's. No one walked your path. No one faced your battles. No one carried your pain. So why measure yourself against anyone else's story? Your timeline is sacred. Your journey is divine. Every delay, every detour, every loss had a purpose. It all shaped you into the person you are now, someone stronger, wiser, and far more compassionate. Love yourself for how far you've come. Love yourself for all the times you didn't give up. Love yourself for the quiet courage it took to keep going when no one was watching. And if there are still dreams in your heart, chase them. It's never too late to begin again. You are not running out of time, you are running into clarity. Every moment you choose peace over perfection, Love over fear, faith over doubt. You rewrite your story. You are not the sum of what others think of you. You are not your past. You are not your failures. You are a masterpiece in progress, constantly growing and evolving. And when you understand that, you stop demanding love from the world because you become love itself. You radiate it. You carry it. You attract it effortlessly, not because you're trying to, but because you're finally aligned with your own truth. The world may not always notice your journey, but the universe does. Every time you forgive, every time you let go, every time you choose kindness, the universe smiles back. You are in harmony with something greater than you. And that realization brings peace beyond understanding. When you lie down at night and reflect, don't count the things you've lost. Count the things you've become. You've become more patient, more grateful, more grounded. You've become someone who understands that love isn't a destination. It's the way you walk through life. The love story of your life begins the moment you stop asking, "Am I enough?" and start affirming, "I am." You've always been enough, not because you achieved something, not because someone validated you, but because you exist. And your existence in itself is a miracle. Out of billions of possibilities, you are here, breathing, living, learning. That's purpose. That's beauty. That's love. So, let this be your reminder. You are the one you've been waiting for. The savior you needed was never someone outside. It was always the strength within you. The comfort you craved was never in another's embrace. It was in your own acceptance. The love story you've been searching for is not something to find. It's something to awaken. When you finally realize that you were always enough, you begin to live differently. You stop rushing. You stop forcing. You start flowing. You begin to trust that life unfolds in perfect timing. You look at yourself in the mirror and see not flaws, but history, not imperfections, but art. And in that moment, you whisper softly, "I am enough." And that simple truth changes everything. Because once you believe you are enough, no rejection can shake you, no failure can define you, and no opinion can diminish your light. You stand tall, calm, and grounded, knowing that love was never something to earn, it was something to remember. That is the beginning of the greatest love story of your life, the one between you and your own soul. And once you begin it, you'll never need to look elsewhere again.